Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Swordhaven. In the previous episode, we have explored this abandoned ruined temple and summoned the rain from this pipe which fell upon the three rain drums. And as a consequence, not necessarily for beautiful music they emitted, but of the water landing on them and not on the... maybe the sound vibrations running down the pipe instead of just the water dripping on the pipes. Some ancient mechanism caused the door behind these curtains to open and a bar fell. Now, we have defeated many crude savages, and they appear to be the descendants of a company of knights who disappeared here over a century ago. This technology seems to be vastly superior to what the savages are capable of. The savages often wear helmets made of skulls, and some of them use ancient two-handed swords. Let us pass beyond the curtain into the chamber beyond and see what awaits us. So far, so good. Ancient braziers lie long burnt out in the corners.
I'm on it.
Or are they supposed to be ossuaries? What's this? That looks like one of those highly explosive jars full of fuel. Let's not mess with it. Here we have an iron claymore blade, a fencing guard, and an officer's helm. We can do something fancy with that, because we are capable of making iron weapons. We have the parts, we only need a forge. This gate appears to be, yes, that has collapsed entirely. Now here we reach the end of this great hall. So let us explore the other gate on the side. And remember, this is still within the limits of what I experienced in early access. Here we have a great tomb that we could interact with. And we cannot travel any further into the chamber. However, all four of the candles before the bier are extinguished.
Quickly now.
Let us honour the dead. It doesn't seem to matter which order we light them in. And now, here's an interesting little fact. There's a bronze mask in here, but this pendant of Kvelaheth would only be in there if we lit the four candles. If they were extinguished, it would not be within the tomb. Now, we have a... let's see, -4 stamina, +15 stun resistance, and immobilization resistance. It's next slot, isn't it? Thing is, that stamina is really good. I'm not sure if we want anyone to use that. Stamina is not level based. We don't have a way of gaining more of it. Strength, endurance and dexterity, unless we can increase those, perhaps. And we will be making this sword, possibly even with this guard. We already have relevant handles and can make more if we need to. We just need to get back to a forge. I can't remember if I found this out for myself or if I read it on the forum first, then went and checked it. Honestly, can't remember. I might have found it out for myself. I did find that if you open the tomb and you take the bronze mask, then you light the four candles and check the tomb again, the pendant still appears. And now, just because this is going to turn rather dangerous, I'm just going to quickly check I'm recording. Yeah, that all looks good. Excellent. Okay. As you step into the Cyclopean Hall, you discover a giant looming over you, a heavily armored knight taller than any mortal you've ever seen. Bathed in the infernal glow of molten ichor churning in the vast chasm behind him, he bellows, "Halt!" Let's stay where we are. You don't have much of a choice either way. The command has overridden your bones and sinews, fixing you in place like a butterfly to a pinboard. And a quick glance at your companions shows that they've also been immobilized by the foul spell. Release me this instant. No. First ask, then I shall speak. His voice booms in the vast space, yet produces no echo. The giant must be speaking directly into your mind. If you possess the power of voice, why not use it to stop my heart? Ah, I see. You can't. You can't even move while you're in the midst of the spell. The creature does not deign to answer, which you take as confirmation of your suspicions. Very well then. Continue. As he continues, the cavern's ceiling begins to twist and churn like tar, slowly turning transparent. You're almost certain you caught a glimpse of the night sky's starry abyss through the translucent rock, but with each blink, the vision fades. Wait, we can blink if we're paralyzed and unable to move? Long before your kind poisoned our world, the great adversary sealed this land with an amorphous liquid life form, a slave species it used as a living tool. Who was this great adversary? The giant gazes down into your eyes as if he expects you to already know this. The poison breeders. You wait a beat for more, but that seems to be it. What was this liquid life form it created? Those who dwell in the endless pools with a voice like the ocean itself. This temple was built atop one such pool eons after its formation. You said they used their creations as tools, but what for? Calculations. Calculations? You cannot understand. Not yet. Are you really old enough to remember all that? I don't remember it. I know it. Let's keep listening. We don't need to antagonize him just yet. This pit, this endless pool, now buried in debris, once housed a living tool of the great adversary. If that rhymes. We won't interrupt. Many seasons ago, I made these caverns my lair, and many more seasons after that, I discovered its resting place. Then I knew that I must revive this ancient servant. But you said that the creature was once housed here. And it still is. My slaves have uncovered a narrow crevice leading to the entity's resting place. I wouldn't be surprised if this circular well-like pit would be that narrow crevice. I have been making sacrifices since that day, gradually rousing it from its eternal slumber. Why? I must have its knowledge, and it knows much, more than the collected wisdom of this entire world, enough to transform one into a god. But why are you telling me all this? I do not wish to fight, not when I am so close to my goal. Let me perform a final sacrifice, and I swear upon my name that you shall stand alongside me, and we will question the awakened entity together. Together! In the next moment, the invisible vice constricting you relaxes and you almost fall to the floor. The knight must be exhausted as he's gasping from the fumes streaming from the makeshift pipes. Perhaps these noxious gases grant him strength. Let's massage our limbs to get the blood flowing. Foul chaos monster! How dare you even suggest such a horror to us acolytes of the dragon? Right, sister? He turns to you. Right, sister? This doesn't sit well with me, says Voodoo Kid. I hope you decline his offer. Kedarain keeps his gaze fixed on the master of the cursed underhalls. Whatever this knowledge is, I don't think it is meant for mortal ears. Low and seductive is the growl of your strange tempter. Take a moment to ponder, man friend, but don't take too long. Why should I trust you? Didn't you just call us humans poison? If this thing was created by the great adversary, why would it reveal its secrets to you? Let's go with that one, yeah. It is but a tool. A tool must serve. It makes no difference who wields it. However, I'm with Brother Gintar here. I don't know what knowledge you've got to offer, but it can't be anything good. You are worse than poison. You are an ignorant slime. We can pray for luck. We've only got 5 luck. That's not great. If we had more luck, it might be worthwhile. Save your breath, fiend. It stinks enough in here without you venting your rancid mouth. A horrific shriek reverberates off the high walls, scraping at your ears and flooding your heart with alien dread. The time has come to face your fears, and face our foes. Now, we have 1, 2 savages and the Knight Commander himself. And if we gaze upon them, the Knight Commander has 104 health, the savages have 35 and 35. The Knight Commander also has 21% damage absorption. So, first, I don't want anyone getting knocked into the pit. I'm not sure if it's possible. I don't think it is. I'm going to go to here and drink my potion of prowess, which should last for 2 turns. Hopefully this does not count as one of them. Probably does. We'll pull out to there with our craftsman. I think it's crossbow time. Oh, really? We can't shoot anyone? Wow, you want to go round? Okay. Let's pull Vavir back to here, bearing in mind she is more heavily armoured than Lyris. Lyris could shoot, but it's going to take a lot of her stamina. Let's just pull back to here and hold. Brother Gintar, could you stand just about here, please? That would be great. And what's this? Potion of Innovation. Probably very useful, actually. And Kedarain, if you could step here. And cold. Let them come to us. I mean, it's going to hurt like hell, but... Yeah! Alright, he has immobilized himself. So let's strike and back away. It's really tempting to try and knock him into the pit, but I don't think it's going to work. So we'll just give him a thump and use the Way of Water for a dodge bonus. Now, just out of interest, when I headed back to town last time and I said I would have run out of arrows in this place, I would have run out of arrows slightly prior to this encounter. For now though, we have a crossbow and he isn't going anywhere. He's also a fairly easy target. Bullseye is bow, it's not crossbow? Well, damn it, okay, fine. She's got a load of perks that aren't that helpful yet. Oh, the dodge! Twice! Alright, let's shoot some arrows. 72's good. If we can cut down these tribesmen fairly quickly, that's got to be good for us. Now, Brother Gintar, if you could try confuse this poor chap with a blow to the head.
I challenge you, sir.
And then move away from the cleaving knight. Kedarain. Strike at him. Excellent. And move towards the fray. Looks like the knight's still stuck. That is great. We have a savage tribesman on the loose. And a knight who will be active very soon. Do we have anything here? That we could throw, or... Doesn't look like it. Wait, what's this? Yes. Take the Mud Pig Draft to boost your dodge chance. Then advance towards pain and death. Vavir, you have a crossbow. You know what, the man is confused. We're getting damage. I mean, he's still got what? Can't see when they've got... Oh, 79 health. Okay, well let's try get rid of some more of that. You know what? Firecracker. If we throw this there, that works. Shame about the dodge. He's about to become mobile again. Maybe he needs a target. Really? Wow. What a waste. Okay. Our enemy is free and coming at us. Oh! Beautiful parry. So I say we go in there with precise poke. And then we don't quite have enough for any kind of follow-up attack. But if we try and back out of it... Oh, we're just going to have to stay. Voodoo Kid. Twin hooks. Armor threshold is ignored. Go for it. Perfect. And again, please. 1, 2, 3 taps. Excellent. We shoot. Now, I want to point out that the battle music in this chamber occasionally, and we heard it a little while ago, has this little ping sound that sounds very mechanical, very high-tech. Almost like the kind of sound a computer might make if there's something wrong with it. But it is part of the battle music for this area. Let us shoot again. Oh, Lyris, you might need to go and bleed him with a dagger, because he has a high damage threshold. But if we can just pummel him with low rank damage... Brother Gintar, you know what to do. Batter him. That went better than expected, to be honest. That can be an incredibly tough fight, especially if you come in here with only 4 party members and you don't have Lyris or Vavir, because you didn't pick Vavir up until after this quest, as was the case in early access. But anyway, the air itself trembles with the suffocating heat rising from the chasm. You arrive at a cage filled with sweaty men and a single young woman who, though dishevelled, maintains a dignified calm. She picks herself up and approaches the bars. Is everyone all right? Oh, a bit shook up, but nothing we can't handle. Oh, it's a good thing I got here when I did. Agreed, but did you really have to engage in a staring contest with that thing? It wasn't that. I was under a spell of some kind. Don't be ridiculous. There's no such thing as magic. You simply stood there, moving your lips, though perhaps you were in shock. Well, I assume the monster was talking inside my head. How curiouser and curiouser. Oh well, many of the world's mysteries yet await thorough examination and cataloguing. I believe this is one of them. Listen, I'm sorry if I was a tad brash, she admits. You did assist us in a dire hour, and we're all very grateful. Right, and you are? I'm Lady Corinne, daughter of Lord Gerveda, Crown Hetman of Hergria, and a close confidant of the Emperor. She performs a dignified curtsy within the constraints of this crude wooden cage. It's an honour, Lady Corinne, and will return the curtsy. She summons a weak smile. I'm also a scholar, primarily in history, which is why I've been leading excavations at the nearby ruins. And Lord Gerveda does not object to that? My father is a learned man. While he undoubtedly worries for my safety in the wildlands of Nova Draconia, he never stands in the way of my passions. Besides, he already has an heir. More than one, actually. And that's not even counting the bastards. I see. Well, how did you come by such interests, milady? As a child, I was tutored by the famous inventor, Loridan Javino. He instilled in me an abiding fascination with history, astronomy, the arts, and many other subjects. Oh, fascinating. You're truly a highly educated woman. Now, when I've returned to Swordhaven, I shall take my rest at my manor in the old quarter. You're welcome to join me for an unequivocally fruitful discussion, and of course, your reward. I still have some business to attend to here, I'm afraid, milady. Business. Rightio, she winks. Make sure to leave some for me, for I intend to return. Unlike the insane creature you slew, these ancient carvings and bas-reliefs deserve scholarly attention. And they have now departed. We can even open the cage. Now, if we head back to where the fight occurred, it's this way. Just let me get my bearings. Something horrendous has happened. The body of the Knight Commander appears to have transformed into that of some kind of bizarre, monstrous creature. I believe in early access he just dropped his corpse on the floor, and now he is revealed to be this kind of monstrosity. Were we just not able to notice it during the fight? And he has dropped the Fangs of Papa Voice, implying that there is a physical body here, and this was Papa Voice. I don't believe the Fangs of Papa Voice were dropped in early access. This item is important, better not lose it. That's the second item we've had with that description. Where is the other one? I think it was something we got from the temple ruins. I hope I didn't set it by mistake, because I don't seem to be able to find the second item. Ah, this could be it, Xanfor's amulet. But I could have sworn that there was something like this, a shimmering disc. Not this shimmering disc, but something very similar from the temple ruins. And I can't remember what it was. It did look very similar to this shimmering disc, though. Wasn't that. So let's give these to her. This crystallized greatsword we'll give to our warrior. The Knight Commander's signet ring is an item for sale. A signet ring from days gone by, much heavier than its modern counterparts, and also much more valuable, as it's forged from meteoric iron. As recently as a few generations ago, it was believed such metal could only be unmade by molten lava. Intriguing. Now, can our barbarian carry all this? Yes, he can, but he's nearing his limit. And a knife, we'll just give that to our master craftsman. Now, let us explore the chamber. There's some more of those explosive vessels, but I don't believe we will mess with those. I'm not sure that we could necessarily lure enemies over to them in that fight and explode them. I did not make great use of the room. This does not appear to be something I can interact with. This, on the other hand, does. The hole is buried now. Perhaps it's for the best. Those stones were in the hole earlier. I could see them before the battle, particularly this one. Now if we explore along this side of the chamber, there is a skeleton, upon which we find a fire scroll pointer, some prayer beads, and scroll rods. Clearly, a priest has perished here. Let's give a few more items to those who can bear the burden. And there are no less than 3 chests, presumably all locked. We shall activate our Lyris and point it at the chests. That's a hard one. It is possible. 44%. Give it a few more tries. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? It's almost a 50-50. But every instance is a separate dice roll, so you can't really do the gambler's fallacy of adding up and say, well, law of probability indicates that we should have done it by now. So we have 2 ancient statuettes, 2 glyphic tablets, a bronze mask, and some bone goggles. There we go.
Right behind ya. Need a key or something.
Another locked chest. I think these 2 are easier.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So, glowing crystals, shimmering discs, humming pearls, and crystal shards. I think it was a glowing crystal that I might have wanted to keep, but there we go, she can carry those. And then for the final chest, alright. Oh! Really low. L for lockpicking. In order to save moving the mouse, I was about to start using the hotkey. Let's see. Rubies, emeralds, a diamond, and some topazes. Excellent stuff.
Grab my ear.
Nice and smooth.
Now here, far below, we see the basin of the sort of mouth of the volcano, as it were. There's a lot of lava down there, and we did read the description of the ring. Now, there is an achievement in this game for doing what I'm about to do.
Still here. Forget about it.
Yes,
Could you
friend.
move, please?
Yes.
We get as close as we can to the edge. Then we open our inventory, right-click on the ring, and press this word that says drop. You trudge through the intolerably scorching air towards a precipice lit by Hypogean founts of Icarus earth, the fiend's ring pulsating inside your pocket. Then, unbidden, a thought intrudes into your mind. Cast it into the fire! Gadzooks! As it melts into the mountain's molten core, you are shaken by an inexplicable dread. But this moment of terror soon passes, giving way to a profound and equally peculiar relief. We gain 280 experience, and believe we have done something good. Did you? Perhaps, but who truly knows? It may remain a mystery.
Need something?
Now, I got the achievement in early access, so I'm mirroring that here. I didn't see any particular special magical properties described. Hang on, what's that? That sounded dangerous. I'd better go and check. Alright, false alarm. We can continue. It sounded like my father upstairs, straining in agony, and I had to go check on him, and unfortunately I think I might have woken him up. But no, he's okay. It was nothing bad, so... whew. It sounded like somewhere between a strain and a wheeze. It was... and it sounded... I heard it twice, and it didn't sound like part of the game audio. So I really had to go and check. Because I've never heard him make that sound before.
Fine. I'll do it.
Now the gate is open, and we are free to finally depart from this place. We've rescued Lady Corinne at the behest of her manservant, and she has expressed her gratitude and promised us a fine reward when we get back to civilization. Now, in terms of this crystallized greatsword, it costs an additional point of stamina to use, deals the same damage as the reforged greatsword, but has a plus 15% chance of inflicting bleed, and it says darkness minus 100. And if we equip it, I'm not noticing a particularly strong glow. Hang on, could you just walk to here? So I don't think it will visually affect very much, but mechanically we may get modifiers to our combat skills based on the light levels that we haven't fully witnessed. So we shall carry it for now. Have I? I think I have searched this corpse. I don't believe we have a pickaxe, and the metal in here is all copper. We seem to have generally progressed beyond copper equipment, but I think what we want to do now is get back to town, craft some new equipment, and go meet Lady Karina at her mansion. Now we could track down her manservant, trying to find the reward, or just accept the fact that he'll probably tell us he promised us a reward and she will just give it out of decency. Now we're back outside in the canyon. There is no... You'll be aware we've left one savage alive with his group of little pet dinosaurs. He's on his own. Unless there are more savages out in the wilderness, he can't have any children. He can just live there with his pets and care for them. Now there's no shortcut to get us back out of the area. We have to walk to the edge of the area to get to a transition point. I don't think we can repair this bridge up here, so we just have to go around. I have a feeling... Hang on. Yeah, looks like we can't. Well, that's okay. And once we get back to town and head to her ladyship's mansion, with the exception of visiting a sort of cottage near the city and having a bit of a chat with an old man who lives there, we'll have now covered everything I experienced in early access. So, I popped into this location here and said hello to the inhabitant. I went back to the city, talked to people, did a few things. By which I mean I went to Lady Karina's mansion, I picked up Vavir as a party member, and realised I probably could have done that earlier. You've encountered a party of Slurian barbarians. They are likely plotting a cattle raid, but wouldn't hesitate to add your head as an extra trophy. Well, let's speak to them. These raiders are in a surly mood. If you're going to impress them, do it fast. We'll try to convince them to leave us be. Your words and actions leave the merciless killers deep in thought, questioning everything they know. Let's venture forth before they change their mind and decide to kill us. Mercilessly, no doubt. Come across a merchant caravan. Let's not trade. We're pretty good on food, and we're going to need to sleep soon anyway.
Weary.
Okay, yeah, that's half the party. No, not hunt stop. We just enter. That's how we rest, yeah. Everybody sleeps. Oh, and we get to mark things as complete now when I find them. I should let the foreman know Gundor is back on the job. Have I not done that yet? Wow. We got the knife. We should take that back to the Clan Reach Inn. Worcesters's wife will be up. I should tell her that as well. Yes, absolutely. Oh, and I did try to heal the sheep that needed healing as Xanfor's amulet. So what? Have we rescued Lady Corrine? There we go. Right. Let's bed down for the night. Maybe we want to make a few more potions to make up for our... Yeah. Oh, quite a few more potions, in fact. We will definitely be wanting to progress to... I'm going to go... What? Oh god, no, don't do that. Okay, yeah, you got 2 already. Fine. If we go 6. Five. Okay. And we equip 2. And you also. Okay.
I'm on it.
Now let's get out of here. And I don't think the camp stops particularly have any gatherable resources. Now we'll just head back to the city and pray we don't arrive there in the middle of the bugger. We do. Okay. No, we'll visit the forge first. I may regret this, but here we go. So there's been a pretty big emphasis on two-handed swords in that area. And we have faced a number of very powerful foes.
Nice and smooth.
We'll probably stand a better chance of finding the foreman during the hours of daylight. No, he's right there. Viserys, it's the middle of the night, man. The foreman furrows his brow. The Gundor situation has been resolved. I heard as much. Don't know what you did, but cheers all the same. How's 30 dinars sound for your help? We can take the money or say, keep it. You don't have to ask me twice and we get 16 experience as well. Farewell. He starts untying his pipe leaf pouch. He's having a bit of a break. Right, let's go tend the forge and see what things we can create. Let's pretend Lumgur might have gone to bed already. Alright, now, weapons. One weapon. Iron Claymore. Okay. Here we go. It's done. Look, we weren't going to use the blade for anything else. And then we have this fencing guard. -1 melee damage, plus 10% chance to hit, and plus 7% parry chance. It did practically come with it, so sure. Fencing guard. There we go. We'll now give this to our warrior, so you get an extra point of damage. Parry chance plus 7. That's not listed as a plus. Lower stamina cost. So plus 14. parry chance, or that's already included? Melee damage -1, so that 8 to 15 may have gone down to 7 to 14. But hey, we've used up some stuff, so that's something at least. Right. We do want to part with some of these objects. But what else can we craft first? Looks like a nothing, although I should be looking to see what things I can partially create. Would be easier to just look and see what we're carrying. So, meteoric stuff we can't make anytime soon. Another officer's helm could be quite nice. Let's see how it compares to... Ooh! The panic resistance is good. However, I don't believe we've actually experienced panic as a mechanic yet. At all. So I think we're trying to... Oh, we... Iron. Right, yeah, we've got steel, not iron. Lumger. What can we buy? Lumger, Chief of Metalworks, greets you with a reserved nod, because it's the middle of the night. Let's have a look at your wares. This is what I have to offer. Steel. Iron is back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Right, we've got a couple of old hatchets. We don't need those. Oh, 3 hatchets. A venerable claymore. 2 skull masks. And we do know Lumger gave some of the best prices around. Let's just whack those iron bars in there now, okay? Those iron ingots. An old sword. We don't need that. Now do we need these dull spears. Spike clubs. A sharpened stick. I mean, we're nearly there. Shouldn't lose this. We can add in a couple of long sticks. I should be looking to see what's heaviest here. 1.4, 1.5. We can throw this in there. He's got one already, so that'll be alright. Oh. Okay, I think things we craft definitely have a price reduction. This reforged greatsword still is not a patch on the... Okay, 8 to 14. Yeah, we'll just pop this in here for now. There we go. Okay. Balance up. Alright. Now we got ourselves a situation. And I think we know what that situation is. We can make that iron breastplate. Sure. And if we consolidate the gold, just so we have an easy tally of how much we have. We have a knight who... Ah! It's the same damage threshold, same dodge modifier. No, better dodge modifier. Stealth and stamina. No stealth reduction. 20 piercing resistance, 9 bleeding resistance. So yes, generally better than the old Malvian breastplate. We now have a knight in proper armor. Ooh. And a breastplate we may consider giving to someone else. I mean, there's bleed and piercing resistance on there already, which this does not have. It's only 3 more. We might start looking to part with this now. Let's pop those on there. These are bolts. I think quest items we shouldn't part with. Maybe we should assign a particular party member, maybe one who's rather devout, to hold on to these things and not leave them. Now, what else do we want to try and make while we're here? I mean, getting up to steel would be very nice. As we have a... Ooh, look at those nice engravings on the axe head. We have a number of, I think, steel items already. But it might be a while before we can get our hands on some iron again. Would be nice to start making some of those iron shields. But we have those 2 nice early game shields that are worth hanging on to. Oh, I'm seeing some very nice patterning on the steel there. Right. So with that in mind... I might need to try and get her. I can't remember what she came with. I think she came with Bullseye. We gave her stay back, then we shifted to guarded stance. Because we were planning on getting her some kind of halberd. Hey. Steel halberd head. Right. I got a short handle, 2-handed sword. Okay. And what do you need? 100. So 21 points. So that's going to be at least 2 levels. One of them's not far away until we can create steel items. So we should be looking to try and gather some more iron until then. What about here? I don't imagine we can create any sort of leather armor from exotic creature hides. We can make all this stuff if we want to. Oh, reinforced leather doublets or leather doublets. Let's check, because we have 1, 2. That's not reinforced. That is. I think we'll be replacing these with possibly more knightly attire in the future. Alright, I think we're done here. And I'm not overly sure
I'll do it.
that this magical glowing sword is a worthwhile item to use. Maybe I'm not fully understanding how some of the information that is presented translates into gameplay mechanics. For instance, no idea what dark minus 100 means. Wait a minute. We've got another couple of quests we can turn in, haven't we? I think. Yep, we've done that one. Okay, look for that. Go see Lady Corrine. And we should look for Agranat, the Enlightened, in Swordhaven. Haven't tried to do that yet, I must admit. Blood Claws, Maskman. Okay, that'll be a long time. Stubborn Husband. Should go back and tell the wife, but that's a long, long way away. And you know what? We have 2 reasons to be heading back towards the beginning of the game.
Okay.
For now, though, why don't we just head into the inn, get a little bit of rest. I know we could just stand here and loiter in the middle of the night and get arrested by the guards, because it looks highly suspicious. But hey, you know what we could do? We could talk to the man to the left of the door, who I'm pretty sure he's bloody moved, hasn't he? Wealthy man. Mercenaries. Has he gone to bed? That's the man I was thinking of. Well, look, if I was a rich man, I would talk to this fellow and sing a song about it. I don't even know the words to that song. Captain Wickint. It's probably Captain Vikint or something. The man before you is richly dressed and has perfect posture. He exudes an air of authority. As you approach, he doffs his hat and performs a courteous bow. Greetings, fair lady. Captain Vikint of the illustrious Patrician Guard at your service. And a warm greetings to you, sir. I am Sister Gwyneth of the Lakes, visiting this fine land on a spiritual mission. Capital! So did you have something to tell me, Gwyneth of the Lakes? No, well, not Yes, what are you doing outside the city walls? That's been resolved now, surely. Excuse me, but that is none of your concern. I see, of course, I'm sorry. I wanted to ask a couple more questions, Sven. Beg your pardon, but trivial matters hold no interest for me. I'm a man of action, a businessman, and I prefer to talk business. Well then, perhaps I could assist the city guard in some manner. If you're here on business. If you're a non-citizen and haven't the recommendation of a Patrician Guard member, you can help us by following the laws. Crime doesn't pay, and many a bastard in this land has learned it the hard way. I see, then I'll say farewell for now. He trails you with a suspicious eye. It's entirely possible we may come back and speak to him about something. Who is this? These are people I should get to know. When they're not sleeping. I do not wish to become intimately familiar with the contents of their pockets just yet. The innkeeper set aside the clay pipe he was cleaning. Aye. Anything else I can do for you? Yeah, we'd like to rent a room. You've come to the right place. We have several guests at the moment, but I'm sure we can find a room for you. And it's not only a room. As tradition dictates, you'll also get a hearty dish of cabbage soup and smoked fish. All that for only 12 dinars. That sounds fair. Here's your money. I'll show you to your room. Now, if that was bad enough, on a scary note, I'm considering playing
Nice and smooth.
a game set in America. I will not attempt to give all the characters American accents, as I did with the Australian post-apocalyptic game. Was it something Road? Broken Road, was it? I should get back and play that. It's been something like a year now, actually. Give that another go. Excuse me, lady. Let's just lock her into conversation. Oh! That face looks remarkably like a man I know. But anyway, as I was saying, if I do that game, I probably won't attempt the American accents because it's some of the more extreme American regional accents, and I don't think I would do them justice. If I do record it for the channel, you'll understand exactly what I'm referring to when the time comes, and I'll make it very clear when I do. But hey, I should probably try and... I mean, I've finished Way of the Tiger, so I've got room for another game. I do have a few things in mind, but maybe I'd like to make a little more progress on one of the ongoing games before starting something new just yet. The woman pauses at whatever she was doing and smiles, crow's feet running away from her eyes. My, oh my, you look like you could use a good rest, sunshine. No, pretty well rested actually, thank you very much. Then maybe you need some provisions for the road. Talk to my husband at the bar. We have dried fruit and salted meat. Fresh fruit too if you're feeling peckish right now. Oh, I already spoke to your husband actually. No, I got it. Hey, what can you tell me about your inn? It's the best establishment around. We not only have the cleanest sheets and tastiest food, but also, she raises her index finger, for protection of the gracious spirit of Saint Jean. Really now, what can you tell me about her? She's a divine spirit, a genuine spectral protector. Just don't go looking for her. Seed chewing is a filthy habit. Seed chewing? Specatea seeds, those rotten barbarians introduced for lowly practice, and now everyone's seeing ghosts wherever they go. Questions of life and death should be obscured by an impenetrable veil, damn it. Right, but why do you suppose Saint Jean is protecting your inn? In life, she was a devout dragon worshipper, but when a gang of barbarians murdered her, she became the spectral protector of the city's outskirts from that day forward. Some undesirables claim they saw her spirit floating in Smokers Row outside the labourers' pub, but that's just a load of phooey. Such places are shunned by holy folks, even dead ones. I wonder if we should choose Specatea seeds at night and go looking for Spirit of Saint Jean. I'm not sure that's a great idea. That's quite an uplifting tale, my good woman. It is. Saints like the good old Jean are what keep us safe from unwholesomeness and heathen fury. Praise be to the dragon. Let's see you later. Be seeing you. Ta-ta. We didn't even get her name. Let's speak to this man. The berobed man toasts you with an ornate cup of wine, setting aside the old tome he's been leafing through. Bright day, fair lady. How may Gudroj of Sidrathia assist you? We could beg? No, we're not going to beg. Greetings. I'm new in town and I was hoping to get to know the locals. I am not a native myself. I travelled here for some research. Excuse me, I don't think I caught your name. Right, you may call me Gwyneth of the Lakes. We're not gonna lie about our name. My pleasure. So, what's that book you're reading? He shrugs. A curious account, more like a folk tale, really, recorded by Changal, a local chronicler. It aligns with my latest studies. I can describe it briefly if you're interested. Oh, please do. It recounts a legend of Saint Erwin, the knight who spotted the evil god Chert atop a parapet of Emperor Kennan's castle. The sinister vision extended its hand as if to seize him. We're taking notes of these. The noble knight immediately asked his master to send him to Nova Draconia to fight the heathens lest he fall prey to the dreadful king of the abyss. The emperor agreed. Everyone knows that in our world, Chert assumes the form of a giant spider or toad. We can keep listening. Emperor Kernan. I reckon this must have taken place about a century ago, when that order of knights went missing in the ruins not far from here. Or earlier. It's likely Sir Erwin and Emperor Kennan replaced... There's only one E. So Emperor Kennan replaced post factum some other heroes whose names have been lost to time. Or Changal chronicled a later legend already extant in Nova Draconia. The man later came to be known as Changal the Mad. Grant him a measure of leniency. Shrug and gesture for him to continue. His Majesty then approached Chert to chastise him for abusing his servant, for Sir Erwin's virtue was flawless, and he surely didn't deserve to be harassed by one of the Dark Free. "O Chert, why did you assail my loyal knight?" he demanded. "'Twas not my intention," answered the demon. "I was merely surprised to see Sir Erwin at thy castle, for I am to catch him leagues away in Nova Draconia." In other words, the knight has fulfilled the prophecy. Since you said this story is related to your latest studies, can I assume you're currently concerned with matters of fate? To a certain extent, yes. We shall see what comes of this, or perchance has the answer already been revealed. In Jintar of Bride's tome, Jotra Cosmologia, it is stated that all time is but an ever-spiraling horn. We were, we are, and we shall be again, until the end days envelop all. I see. Has anything worthwhile happened around here while you have been waiting? Apparently, the gates to the city are open again. Besides that, I've heard naught of import or interest. All right. I'll see you later. He returns to his reading. And we have a level. Kederain has increased in status to level 5. Well, he's all about chopping things up with his big sword. This is level 5, so he doesn't need a point just yet. We'll give him some outdoorsmanship, because we can push for that 50 next level. There we go. Now, who else could we interact with? There's a fellow over here. Why, hello there. This wiry geezer is salt and with, not has, with. This wiry geezer with salt and pepper hair squints in irritation. "Keep it moving, you hear? I ain't too keen on company." Your manner is rather unfriendly. Is this how Swordhavians typically welcome a wade lot? "Pike off, will you? If you knew who Cropless the Lame was, you wouldn't come barging in with your thoughts like that." "Oh, then who is Cropless the Lame?" "If you don't know, you don't know, and it's best it stays that way for both our sakes." "Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you, sir." Yeah, he reduces the volume a bit. "You don't need any new troubles, and I don't either. I don't neither. Look, why not get yourself an ale and have a little chinwag with the innkeeper instead, huh?" "Yeah, you're probably right. Let's leave it at that." "Uh-huh." We'll leave him be. He shoots a final suspicious glance in your direction before returning to his mug. We may need to come deal with him at some point later, but for now,
I'll do it.
we can head on out the door. And since panic has not been a very major game mechanic for us yet, maybe we should look to be replacing this helmet with something more significant in the not too distant future.
Okay.
Back out in the marketplace, we could sell some more of our wares, or just make a bit of a move on. I think we'll head into another part of the city. Let's take a little stroll first along the riverbank. We have heard there are crocodiles in the moat. I'm not looking to mess with any, but I am looking to scout out this area and pick a few flowers, apparently. So now, as for circuses, gathering punters, it's a little early in the morning. Let's just ignore the size of the crowd for now and pretend there aren't quite so many people that early who've dragged themselves out of bed at this ungodly hour. I mean, I have explored the map around here, but I haven't really found anything too interesting. Maybe we will explore the map a little bit later on. For now, though, let's head into this interesting, exciting part of the city that is available to us. Now, I have not done very much in this next area. I can assure you of that. What have I done? I stopped in at the first building on the left. That's about it, to be honest. We've found a waypoint. Let's ignore that for now. So I've popped my head in there. And it seems this is the gate quarter. There's a child running around. I don't imagine Lady Corrine's mansion will be this close to the gate. Can we squeeze in here? Oh, we can. Lovely.
Nice and smooth.
Probably shouldn't, though, mind you. That's probably the edge of the map, to be honest. It might be nice to come back and explore this later on in the day. But for now, we don't seem to have much of a reason to. A passerby is not a resident and not someone. Look, they're on their way somewhere. They have good reason to be there. Let's have a look in here. Okay. Oh, what's... Wow. That is a significant tree. Very impressive. So we have a nice courtyard with a very large tree. I'm not sure we have much reason to be here just yet. I have a feeling that this is possibly a filler area, a traversal area to help us on our way towards our actual destination. However, there are some very large trees here, aren't there? Some mighty tree trunks. Yeah, let's not go picking the flowers just yet. We don't know. That's an entrance to the sewers, if ever I saw one. And we may need to enter one at some point. However, I don't see much need just yet. Who's this? It's not anyone we know, so it's not the manservant. Okay. Let's have a little roam here around this side of the building. See if we can fill that gap a little. Yeah, there's a little, what do you call that? Like a sort of porch or something?
Okay.
Alright, this looks like a beggar. Or some kind of trader. Probably a beggar. I feel I want to explore this area. I don't really have much of an excuse to. And we should probably just head on further into the city. I did say we could explore this more later on.
I've spotted something.
You have? What is that? That looks like some kind of very loose stone. Behind which 28 dinars await. Another waypoint. Come on, how many times? No. I don't know where that goes, but I suspect that just heading further east, in the direction we were originally headed, should take us to our destination. This doesn't look much like a destination, this looks like a dead end. And that's a very impressive ladder. It looks like that building only has 2 floors, but very high ceilings. No, it looks like there's some kind of attic or loft overhead as well. Oh, what's this? Armor merchant. Well, why didn't you say so? Let's go get ripped off and maybe, you know, trade a few things as well. Oh, this is very fancy.
Nice and smooth.
The stocky, bearded fellow sets down a small hammer he was using to knock dents out of a cuirass, and in a booming voice says, "If you're seeking armor, you've come to the right place. I've got the finest gear this side of the stormy sea, sturdy as a mountain and built to last." Is there a high demand for good armor these days? With all this ruckus about barbarians gathering in the west and those pesky northern barons stirring up trouble, you can bet your favourite helmet there's high demand. I'm not saying that's a good thing, mind, but I say when life gives you challenges, turn them into opportunities. Great, let's see what you got. Sturdy plate that'll take a thrashing and then some. This could be pretty high-end pricey stuff. He says, seeing 4-digit prices. Right, yeah, so we clearly don't have that kind of money. And if I start selling him the really bad stuff, maybe that won't be... Yeah, so that's a Bernie, that's a Hauberk. That's not a Hauberk. Hauberk goes down to the knees. That's barely the upper thighs, but the full-length sleeves. No, a Bernie has short sleeves. Let's see, shoddy iron breastplate. Well, that can go. Lamellar armor. Ooh, cavalry helm. We're getting some panic resistance now. Would he give better value for things like this, say? I mean... Oh, but that's 4 of them, so like 500-600. Yeah. We definitely need to... What's this? That is steel. Okay, and that is dented cuirass. Not so great. If we go to someone who's actually wearing an iron cuirass, oh, this is better in some regards, so it's probably more like steel than iron. And all very expensive things. Worth remembering if we want to pop by here later and pick up something really nice. We only have 2 real shield users. It seems our shields are rather good. Okay. Remember, quality like mine is worth coming back for, and we'll come back from it when we can afford it and find it, you know, within our price range and highly desirable. For now, though, we'll keep that in mind. Wait, I want to ask you about this part of the city. The gate quarter's a decent spot, hardly touched by the last plague, and that, my friend, counts as a great deal in my book. I see. By the way, I don't think I caught your name. Aye, it seems I forgot to properly introduce myself. The name's Bruna, at your service. Nice to meet you, Bruna. I'll see you around. Keep your shield high and your spirits higher. Let's head back outside. That is a shop with high-end prices. Some of the products not quite as high-end as he made out. But definitely somewhere to keep an eye out for later on. It could still be that place of a man staying outside, but for now, let's go through here and see where we get. Would expect at least some kind of residential district, right? Possibly a posh one. Old quarter.
I'll do it.
Oh yeah. So this will either be the slums or where the really posh people live. The Watchman is flipping through last year's issue of the Swordhaven Almanac, but oh no, it's an almanac, isn't it? But snaps smartly to attention when you approach. Welcome to the Old Quarter, the safest borough in Swordhaven. I need some directions, if possible. Sorry, but can you ask someone else? I'm busy right now. Alright, any new gossip floating around? I've heard there's a strange fellow in the Old Quarter who buys the jelly lumps shed by those undragonly slimes living in the sewers. Why anyone would want something so disgusting is beyond me, but hey, money is money. I understand. Take care. We'll have to ask someone else. A plump, bespectacled man in silken, if slightly worn finery greets you with a courteous bow. Greetings, ma'am. If I may be so bold, to me, you look like a promising, youthful, graceful, fecund, Wadelot? Exactly, just what I was going to say. Now, being what you are, you must have noticed that growing a reputation is quite the task amid the hustle and bustle of Nova Draconian life. Luckily, I am here to offer you a social shortcut, and all for a pittance. Sounds like a con, but let's hear it. Tell me, would you like or would you love being a landowner? He begins fiddling for something in his pockets. Because I have a deed and a handy map to the property right here. A moment. Got snagged on something. He fishes out a brittle parchment scroll. Ah, here we go. Everyone takes landowners seriously. They get all the respect, not to mention all the benefits of your own private place to rest, recuperate, practice crafts, store possessions, grow delicious foods, leap, frolic, sing inspirational ballads, and... Alright, salesman, what's the catch? Hang on, if property is so great, how come you're selling yours? An astute question. I'm no young upstart like yourself, and my lot in life is that of a groundskeeper, not an owner. That was, in fact, my role for the previous owner, the dearly departed Sir Smarja of Mergic. Hopefully you will take the deed off my calloused, hand-working, servile hands. That, and you'll have to trust me on this, no, not vain idleness. The hands, right. Nor the tremor of excessive alcohol consumption, so that I may return to that noble task. What happened to the previous owner, then? I will be blunt with you, ma'am. Master, he had a problem, an Applewine problem. One day, drunk out of his mind, and not long after his gambling debts had run the estate into the ground, he took his only heir, Ruli, boar hunting in the woods near Mejik. Naturally, I expected the worst, and when they hadn't returned a week later, I knew something was amiss. Oh, gods, how I wish they had simply been gored by savage swine. Oh, what happened to them? I hired a few locals to assist me, and when they finally found him, almost a month later, the master was alone. Crazed and wasted from hunger, he stalked the thickets like a living corpse, unsure of where he was or even who he was. The only thing he muttered, just before malnutrition took his wretched life, was, I didn't mean to say it. It was the drink. It was all the drink. Give me back my boy. Take it back. Give him back, ye loathsome kindly people of the woods. So he exchanged his son for what exactly? What else could it have been but the bag of gold coins and the ancient amulet we found on his belt, neither of which he had on him on the day of that doomful hunt? We buried the cursed items with him, making sure to touch them only with our mattock and shovel. I doesn't even consider laying hands on them, or upon something so ill-omened. Just so I got the full picture, where exactly did you bury that poor man and his, how shall I put this, sweet ancient fairy treasure? Well, since Master Schmarzer has been tainted with fey gold and all, I couldn't bury him in a cemetery or anywhere near Magic Manor. Instead, I chose a beauteous field of flowers near the property. I marked the grave with his ancestral banner. I see. So if the land isn't even yours, by what right are you selling it? Why, with the master long dead and buried, who other than his sole surviving servant would have that right? This is only fair, ma'am. Trust me, I know the local properties to the last letter of the last appendix. Oh, and who are you exactly? I should have probably asked this earlier. How awfully rude of me. My name is Piradzin of Kukgala. I am the former groundskeeper of the land I'm offering up for your needs, whatever they may be. All right, Piradzin of Kukgala, what's the catch? By Loima, what makes you think there is, in your own words, a catch? Shocked and appalled, he shakes his cheeks in disdain, but then adds, well, naturally, there is a wee itsy-bitsy catch, a minor spectral infestation, but we can discuss that in due course. The more salient question, however, is, are you interested in making the purchase? So it's haunted. What is this property, anyway? As if he has been preparing for days, he launches it into a well-rehearsed pitch. It's called Magic Manor, and allow me to say it's much more than just a beautiful chateau in the untamed wilderness. It comes with dozens of square feet of prime forest, several acres of arable lands, flowery gardens to frolic about in. There's even a lake relatively close by called Kishka, just waiting for someone to laze upon its sunny banks. Relatively close by? 2 hours on horseback at the most, though it is hemmed all around by mires and bogs. Could just as well be 2 days, he thinks. But the seashore's not far. You could ride there, if that be your will. And what about these fields? Well, the fields might be a tad tired from over-tilling. He tugs on his collar. And maybe, just maybe, last season's deluge swept away all the topsoil, but I call that a temporary setback, nothing more. Okay, what's your price? Oh, a humble pittance of 10,000 gold dinars will suffice. Though, before we make the final transaction, you should spend some time getting rid of, ooh... He briefly attempts to mimic a spectre, but gives up and says, ghosts. Now then, he rubs his hands, and setting aside the subject of an otherworldly presence on the property, unrolls a weathered map. Here's how you get to Magic Manor. Find a way inside, exercise the spirits, return to me, pay the sum, and you're all set. I'll even throw in a full-time indentured groundskeeper, free of charge. You asked... Our haggling skills aren't that great, but this is pretty extreme. You asked for my aid and now want a payment that large. You better think again, pal. Surely you jest. What I demand is at worst 1/100th of its real value. Those spectres just make it ever so hard to find a buyer. Hold on, spectres now, are you serious? Indeed, some time after the master perished, the house was beset by wicked spirits. Curse them for their wiles, antics, and shenanigans. They drove me from my own quarters, their disturbing, glowy forms messing with my mind. I understand. Get rid of the evil spirits, and then we can talk payments and deeds. In the interim, I shan't make this offer to anyone else. Sound good? But what if I clear the manor, yet don't make the purchase right away? Then you could sell it to someone else and I'd get nothing more for my trouble. I would never do such a thing. Well, all right, maybe I would, but I'd still give you a couple of days to gather gold for the payment. That would be only proper. So that's a flat-out refusal to say I need some time for it. How do I get rid of the spirits, like he knows? If I knew, don't you think I would have done it myself? You'll have to figure something out, but I'm sure this isn't the first time you've been set a task that defies all reason. Well, you could say that. All right, well, you have a deal, and we have a vast shortage of funds. Pleasure doing business with you. We shake hands. Yeah. I've got somewhere to be. Good luck. We don't even have 1,000 coins, let alone 10. I mean, we can probably sell some of the treasures from our recent quest. It might take us a few days for the merchants to gather enough coin to pay for it all. But even then, the prices we experience are so low, we're going to struggle. This, I believe, is her ladyship's mansion. The door guard stops you with a raised hand and announces, "No further, lass. This is Lady Corinne's house. Not just any old strider is granted entry." I'm not just any old strider. I'm Gwyneth of the Lakes. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Gwyneth of the Lakes. I'm sure you must have many important commitments. He raises his brow to emphasize the implication. Elsewhere. Lady Corinne invited me here after I saved her from a dreadful fate in the cursed underhalls. The guard's expression warms noticeably. Wait here, Tick. I'll call Master Sulanis. He soon returns with Corinne's manservant. Greetings, my friend, he turns to the guard. Yes, that's our heroine. Then back to you. Please do come in. The lady has been looking forwards to your visit. With that, the butler returns to the house, presumably to notify Corinne of your arrival. Well, that clears everything up, says the guard. We'll nod and take our leave. Enjoy your stay, ma'am. And it's nice to see that he does his job properly. What a beautiful floor. Excuse me. The butler greets you with a formal bow. Hello, ma'am. I can't recall if I've introduced myself when we first met. Sulanis, at your service. How are you faring, Sulanis? Pretty well, all things considered, although between you and me, I can't say I share milady's enthusiasm for Nova Draconia, with its musty, muggy days and chilly nights. And the much ballyhooed Swordhaven is a bit of a provincial dump, if you'll pardon the expression, especially compared to megalopolises like Marbleheim and Autumnstar. You know, I don't know, it's not that bad, is it? A matter of perspective, I guess. Let's not quarrel about it, ma'am. To each their own. And of course, Swordhaven is leagues better than the ruins of Hebelek. He shivers. That was a dreary place, I dare say. The ruins of Hebelek? Her ladyship's penultimate stop before Nova Draconia. The ruins lie in the mountains, near the sacred land of Akal, an inhospitable region many, many miles away. The ruins lie... Penultimate stop. Is that where we were last, or where she's going next? Can I ask a couple more questions now? I suppose I can spare a minute from my duties. What would you like to know, ma'am? How long have you served Lady Corinne? Lord Gervader, her ladyship's father, assigned me to Lady Corinne when she cut her first milk tooth, and I mean to look after her until my dying day. I see. Well, I suppose it's time for me to go now. Farewell and good luck. Now, I'm going to map out this floor, just for a sake of completion. I'm not going to overly mess with anything. It doesn't do to steal from someone we've just rescued who said they will give us a sizable reward anyway. So let's head on upstairs and introduce ourselves to her ladyship. Looks like there's a female servant working down here as well, probably a cook of some kind. Some kind of washing chamber. For a moment I was thinking it was some sort of music room. Here, some kind of study or guest bedroom. But in terms of an actual study, here we go. The young Lady Corinne is peering intently at a map of Nova Draconia, the table littered with compasses, sextants, quadrants, and other navigational tools. Her right hand rests on a diamond-shaped metal artifact, and I'm going to make another recording check, just to be sure all is well. Looking up, you finally came. Welcome, take a seat. I shall. And we get to actually sit on the chair, it's great. I mean, Kedarain stands there menacingly with the two-handed glowing sword on his shoulder, but apart from that... Now, I believe I promised a reward for your assistance with my last expedition. Would 1,000 dinars and some healing salves suffice? Yes, thank you. That will go a long way towards our next financial expenditure. She hands you the promised gold and a basket of useful medicines. As we pocket the goods, we'll ask, what are your thoughts about the cursed underhalls you were trapped in? A ghastly old place. I loved it. That ghastly old place? I loved it. Yes, the whole being captured by crazed savages thing was a titch risky, but the artifacts I found, she smiles, they were worth every grey hair we gained in the process. And some of those artifacts will help us uncover our next location of interest. Oh yes, the book I'm going to write will make those stuck-up greybeards from the High Synod of Marbleheim burst with envy. Oh, what are you writing about? An ancient history of what is now known as Nova Draconia, starting with the Eastern Silurian people, not to be confused with the Western tribes of today, then the pre-Silurian period, and those who've been before. That's the most interesting part, and also the most mysterious, since eons have passed since those bygone epochs. Ah, I see. To herself, cursed underhalls. So dramatic. Do you need help with any help with your work? I thought you'd never ask. She clears all her tools and implements from a map with a sweeping gesture. Indeed I do. Unfortunately, I have some business to attend to here, so I must send someone in my stead on the next expedition. Someone who's already proved their worth. Her eyes gleam. Someone like you. Well, you have my ear, my lady. You notice she has the little scar on her forehead. She's not... It could possibly be the hair coming down in a weird highlight, like the skin carrying on behind there, but it does look like a scar running through her eyebrow. So, she's seen some dangers. Let's get down to brass tacks before we are captured. Before we were captured, I uncovered this. She picks up a diamond-shaped relic from the table. An interesting curio, isn't it? Gintar clutches his jaw in one hand and squints. Maybe. What is this thing, milady? Setting aside the unusual shape, this is a key. That's according to my primary sources, the writings of Changal the Mad. Your primary sources are the writings of Changal the Mad. A peculiar fellow and an authority on the region's history. He died around half a century ago, but not before going tits up balmy, hence the unflattering moniker. What does the key unlock? A very specific gate, I hope. One of the few still remaining from an era that predates even the ancient peoples who dwelt here before the coming of the Slorium tribes. I'm not going to comment that it doesn't look like a key. We'll work that out in, how to make it one in good time. Her gaze lingers on the artifact as she slowly turns it in her hand. I call it a rhombic key. Similar items have been found on the Quafardian Islands near the ancient city of Hebelek and in many other locations in the old country. She locks eyes with you. How queer, then, that this one was discovered near Swordhaven, so far from those other places. Master Changal theorized that it was used to open an entrance to, let's call it a coach station. Yes, that's a good analogy. It wasn't actually a coach station, then. A sharp observation. No, it wasn't. Tell me, have you ever heard of the Shimmering Gates? As a member of the priesthood who is highly educated, maybe I have. Then you most likely read the Slurium folktale about how the first people were summoned by Lur, their chief deity, as well as the name of the land itself, from a shimmering gate. And you probably also noticed how this doesn't align with other Slurium myths, which said they were animated from clay or something equally quaint. Meaning that it's one of the few surviving links to the ancient people who predated the first Slurium migration from beyond the western mountains. Let's keep listening. But there's more. It turns out that shimmering gates, rainbow doors, flaming portals, and countless other names of kindred nature can be found on cultures around the globe, like echoes of a past long forgotten. Changal's theory was that these gateways lead to other realms, undiscovered continents, or even other planes of existence. And, do you believe that yourself? Magic does not exist, so no, I don't think these portals were used for travel, but I did see a chamber with many broken gates during the excavations in Hebelek. That was thousands of miles from Nova Draconia. I feel it's possible, and equally fascinating, that there was a common belief in something like that. It suggests that many, if not most, modern civilizations share a common root. Could these gates... hang on. A belief in teleportation, flight, and other supernatural phenomena is hardly conclusive evidence of shared origins. By itself, no, of course not. But the very similar underground complexes in Hebelek, Samarkand, and other parts of the world point to it. And according to Changal's calculations, there may be another such place hidden in the wildlands south of Swordhaven. She hands you the diamond-shaped artifact. He was convinced that this thing serves as a key. Scout it out. She adds the words Shimmering Gate to your map, and if you find a rhombus made of strange metal covered in peculiar symbols, bring it to me. There's a generous reward in it for you. How would I get there, milady? She takes a moment to ponder. Speak to Captain Kumalintz about crossing the river. He is probably in the dockside brothel doing what he does best, drinking his life away. Right, was that all, milady? I think we'll take our leave.
Fine, I'll do it.
So, at this point, let's head back outside and summarize what I might have done in early access that I haven't done yet. I tried to look after the wounded sheep, the sick sheep in GG. It's not Clamreach, it's the other one. Grainhold. And I also let the what do you call it? The ferryman's wife know that we'd sorted out the issue with the priest. Explored a little bit more of the map in the outskirts marketplace. You know, pretty much fully explored that map. I spoke to a gentleman just up here, a bit northeast of this position, about some kind of mission or quest, I think. And he said that as an additional reward, he'd give us a special magic pill that would increase one of our ability scores permanently by 1 point. Why do I feel that that might have been the reward we could have got from this deal with the ghosts? There he is. That's probably him now. The groundskeeper greets you with hopeful eyes and a rosy-cheeked smile. Hail and well met. Did you settle the score with those scoundrelous spectres? No, not yet. Take your time, but the longer you linger, the fewer happy days you'll enjoy as the proud owner of Magic Manor. So I'll have a quick look over here to see if I can find someone else. I believe... Standing by... No, okay. So this is it then. This is basically all new now. So I should probably end the episode, because this one's a decent length, I reckon. We need to try and find another 8,500 coins. That won't be easy. Crafting things to sell is not the way to go, but we do have plenty of things we could trade with the local people in the marketplace. I think we need to improve our haggling skill significantly if we want to be able to get better prices from anyone. Our persuasion is pretty good, but 57. So we want a 75 in 6, 7, 8, 3 levels time. Now we're pretty close to this level actually. So with at least 2 characters actually, so that's going to be interesting. Right, I am going to leave this one here. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next one. I'll say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon, and hope you've enjoyed this one.